Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jason, and today we've got Murda on the DuoCast once again, twice in as many weeks, bro. How you doing tonight? Are you ready for this?
Dude, I am ready. I'm so stoked. It's the final NGS match of the season, the Division C Grand Finals, Jason.
Yeah, what a way to close it out. We've got the champions from the East, ReGen Red, champions from the West, Rush B. And if you have trouble remembering what coast they're on, it's correct on the screen. On the west side, you got Rush B. On the east side, you got ReGen Red. So we'll take that the way it is. But let's go ahead and let's get into this because these teams are ready to go quickly. For the final cast of the season, we'll use, once again, Weenus' excellent map tool that he set up for us to show us what's going on here. Rush B winning the toss, electing to have first pick for this game number 1. ReGen Red then responding with an Infernal Shrines ban. Dragonshire banned out by Rush B. And Sky Temple going to be picked up here for the first map for ReGen Red. What do you think, Murda?
We're going to Sky Temple. If you've been following ReGen Red, this is the map they want to go to, and they're going to start off the match on it. We'll see if they can keep their winning ways up, but so far on the season, undefeated here on Sky Temple for ReGen Red.
Yeah, and speaking of undefeated, I believe you mentioned earlier, Rush B undefeated on the season. So it should be very interesting to see. I feel like we kind of got like the unstoppable force and the immovable object going into this C Division Grand Finals. And
yeah, Rush B haven't dropped a match the entire season. Only 2 maps have gone to their opponents this season. And over on the other side, ReGen Red, they themselves have not lost a match since week 1 up against the Found Vikings back in the Division C East regular season. It's been quite some time since we've seen a loss out of either of these teams, Jason. And you're right, here in the Grand Finals, they're going to meet head-to-head, and only one of them is going to keep that streak alive.
Yeah, 2 teams walk in, and only one can walk out. The Grand Champions here, the final Grand Champions of Season 6. And, we've put together those cool little Grand Champion Journey playlists. Also worth noting that whoever wins this game will result in a higher seed for the C Division representative this Saturday for our Champions Charity Tournament. We'll get more plugs later on that, but just a couple other things on the line today. But the big one is, of course, bragging rights. Being able to say, hey, I've won a division championship for NGS.
Yeah, and Jason, I think you have a memory of your own I'd like to hear sometime tonight with your experience being a grand champion here back in Season 4 with Divine Nine, I believe.
That's right. That was a good year, but it's not about me today. It's about these teams, and it looks like these guys are ready to go. They're asking if we're ready. We're going to let them know that we're ready to go, and I've just got my finger hovering over it. We're ready to go into the draft here. For game number 1, we've got Sky Temple coming at you. What do you like on this map, Murda? What's it all about?
What do I like on it? I don't like anything about this map. Historically, if you're on Murda's team, you're going to be losing on Sky Temple. Let's get that fact right. But, I want to see these teams getting on their comfort heroes early in these maps. I don't want to see them waiting till game 3 or 4 to start getting to what's been winning them matches throughout the entire season. So I'm expecting a lot along the draft lines that we've seen out of these teams throughout the past few months here in NGS.
Yeah, and, it's always a question of, would you rather do the meta bans? Would you rather do the actual, scouted bans and try and take away the comfort heroes? I find that in C we see a little bit more of the comfort hero banning than the actual meta bans, but we see Dahaka, the first ban here. The global ability from Dahaka gives him a lot of really, really good force on this map, and a high priority. Maiev on the other side, so maybe a couple meta bans to start out here.
Yeah, this is not only a meta ban on Maiev, but Dominator has been a dominant force for Rush B all season long on that Maiev. You see ReGen Red prioritizing her with a ban there at the top portion of this ban phase. I think that's exactly what ReGen Red's going to need to do to make sure that it's not going to be pulled out here.
Yeah, and you'll kind of see an evolution of these drafts as well as we go further and further into the series. Worth noting, it's a best of 5 here tonight. So, you know, a lot of what you can see from these first couple of games be successful could get banned out the rest of the game. But a couple more frontliners. We got Diablo going out on one side, Leoric on the other for that solo lane denial. And it seems like they're kind of targeting that solo lane here to start on the side of Rush B's bans, leaving a Nubarak open here. We'll have to see who wants to get the game's top tank here to start. But Anna going to be the first one for Rush B.
Yeah, and I feel like I might have misspoken with Dominator being the MyF player. I think here in lobby chat they mentioned Arcane being the MyF player, so apologies there if you're in chat watching and you're like, Murda, you don't even know what the heck you're talking about. I was close enough. Come on, give me a break.
But there is a Nubarak coming in along with the Sylvanas, so of course a Nubarak very strong. Arrow going to have a good tank to start this off, but Sylvanas, a big pick here. Kind of been forcing her way into the meta ever since her rework. Teams kind of discovering how to use her effectively. And on this map, when you can really take advantage of that Merc Queen and the split push ability on Sky Temple, sometimes you can get more value out of a split push Sylvanas with a camp than you can the entirety of the shrines.
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to see ReGen Red's newest player, Murder, who has played 3 of these matches here. Or this would be the 3rd during the playoffs for ReGen Red. But outside of that, a new member of this roster and a lot of responsibility in her hands here, playing that Sylvanas in Game 1, as we see the Blaze ban coming through from ReGen Red, passing the timer back over to Rush B for their final ban.
Yeah, Johanna and Kael'thas picked up here as a 2-3. So pretty strong combination, as the Anna does have some ability to set up. Johanna, of course, with the Condemn, also to try and bring people in, group them together for that bomb spread. And Kael'thas, of course, with just massive wave clear and damage potential. So strong start here for Rush B. Orphea going to be banned out, trying to choke out those mages a little bit here.
Yeah, taking away the Orphea, we've seen ReGen Red play it in the playoffs over the past couple of weeks. It's been Murder playing that hero, but we see her already on the Sylvanas, so maybe a bit of a wasted ban there. We'll find out as ReGen Red waiting to pick their number 3 and 4. It's going to be Thrall for Shui, and Repsychic going to hop on Tyrande here.
Yeah, really good follow-up potential to the Anubarak. You got the extra roots. You got Tyrande with not only the Lunar Flare, but also that Hunter's Mark. Sylvanas, really, really good burst damage potential. So I like the combo coming out here from ReGen Red. And of course the Thrall, so versatile. Could be a solo lane pick, but also can work very well in the 4-man if they want to swap it up later. So they've got some options. Now there's a shocker to me. Lunara and Sonya picked up here. Lunara has fallen out of favor, but pretty good healer against Tyrande with the spread damage, and Sonya great on camps for this map.
Yeah, Sonya is also going to be pretty good up against Thrall in that solo lane. We'll see how that matchup works out, and we're still waiting to see what this last pick's going to be for Zulkin. 5 seconds here for ReGen Red, but I'm expecting some fireworks if they're saving his pick for last. Maybe not fireworks, maybe it's some ice works. It's going to be Jaina here for ReGen.
Yeah, we're going to see the Frost Mage Jaina coming out, but it kind of fits with the theme of their comp here. Burst, 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 all over the place on ReGen Red's comp here. And if they can get past the Johanna and the Sonya front line, they can deal quite a lot of damage to whoever they catch in the CC chain. Of course, Johanna also can be burst down with that if that Iron Skin is down. But Ana, she's got pretty good sustained healing, but not so much burst healing. So should be interested to see if ReGen Red can be that unstoppable force that might just be able to pierce that Rush B immovable object here.
Well, let us know in chat right now, hashtag RushB or hashtag ReGen. Place your votes. Who are you here cheering for tonight? A lot of people already showing up, Jay-Zom. We're not even into game number 146 of you NGS patrons out there hanging with us tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And, you know, Jay-Zom, I know both of us are excited to see a good match tonight.
Yeah, best of 5 series. Hoping that this one goes the distance and we get to see as much NGS action as possible, because this is the last official match of the season. You know, we still got some stuff to do on Saturday, an off-season event, but this is it for Season 6. So I'm hoping that these guys are ready to give us a good show here tonight. All right, well, let's get on into game number 1. On the left here on Sky Temple, we have Rush B, the Sea East champions. We have Fatlock going to be on the Johanna. We've got Dominator on the Lunara. Great Putu going to be on the Kael'thas. We got Tylane on the Anna. And up top, we got Archaean on the Sonya.
And over on the right-hand side in red, we got Tyrande, played by Repsychic. We see Murder switching over to the Jaina. Anubarak, played by Arrow. Thrall, played by Shuya. And last but not least, Zulkin on the Sylvanas. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Division C East champions, ReGen Red.
Meanwhile, quick rotation to the bot lane here. ReGen Red looking for some good old-fashioned Sylvanas cheese. They've also got Arrow in there on the Anubarak. Going to be able to soak up some of those with the Beetles even after the tower starts shooting again. But quick rotation here from Rush B. They were ready for this.
Yeah, Repsychic taking a ton of damage here. You see Zulkin taking some as well. But they're able to make it back towards their wall, getting a significant amount of damage onto that bottom tower here in the bottom lane. A little bit of a lead for ReGen Red, but XP slightly in favor currently of Rush B.
Yeah, that quick rotation to the bot is going to result in a little bit of extra XP for Rush B, but nothing they can't recover from over on the side of ReGen Red. Meanwhile, teams kind of starting that 4-man rotation. Look at Rush B, kind of looking towards that 4-man rotation to try and cut off. They're going to find Zulkin here, put a decent amount of damage down, but they split it a little bit here. Arrow also coming in on the backside, going to get some damage, and CC out. Should still have that burrow charge away to get out of this. But nice disruption of that strategy there, as Arrow getting pretty low, but they're going to all make it out fine.
Yeah, still no deaths on either side, but you can see why these teams are division champions for their respective sides. They're coming out all blazed up, ready to go here today, and I'm pretty stoked to see the aggression so far early in this one.
Yeah, rotations all over the map here. This is not your standard 4-4. Teams are not just sitting in lane, getting stuff done. And here again, the aggressive rotation from Rush B. They are not going to give this siege camp up without a fight. And ReGen Red posturing back up here. Arrow is in there, does have the bomb on him, taking a little bit of damage, but we are seeing the response here. Ton of damage onto Fatlock. They're going to get a little bit of this back, and they actually managed to get the camp. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. They'll trade out the tanks, but camp going to be stolen here by Rush B.
Yeah, very, very dedicated play there by Rush B, not leaving the fight no matter what. Johanna willing to give her life up for it, but they're able to get a Anubarak before that burrow charge was able to help him escape underneath the wall there. So good pickup on both sides, and an even better steal there by Rush B, as we see our temples just being announced. 24 seconds until top and mid are ready to go. Both sides starting to look towards camps. It's a siege camp down bottom for Rush B, and looks like Sylvanas and Jaina are comboing for the Bruiser camp on the side of ReGen Red.
Yeah, and I like this camp timings on both sides. They're going to have counter pressure. And look out, the invasion is coming in, and they're going to be here in time to be able to steal this away. Again, Rush B showing the aggression here early. They are not afraid at all of ReGen Red as they go deep into enemy territory to kind of disrupt their strategy here.
Yeah, ReGen Red's going to have to start thinking about how they can protect these camps. Now, twice in a row, stolen away right from under their noses. And right now, it's just wasting time on that top temple. You see Sylvanas just now making her way up there, joining now Jaina and Tyrande, so they're in control. But mid-temple should be done first, and possibly enough time for rotation to come up towards top if Rush B wants to take it.
Yeah, 1-1 on the kill counter, just past level 6 for both teams right now. Very even on both sides, trading out these temples. That bottom camp getting some good value in the bot lane, though, for the side of Rush B. But here comes the engagement. We're going to have Archaean getting very low. Zulkin trying to finish him off, but can't quite do it. Ends up getting taken down here by Dominator with all of that poison damage. And so far, the Lunara paying off here, Murda.
Yeah, ReGen Red has got to get away. I don't know why they're still hanging out here at all. Now Murder very low playing that Jaina. Gets the Blizzard down enough to slow and kind of prevent anyone from walking further down that path there. They're able to escape, but Rush B's looking so good here in the early game, Jason.
Yeah, ReGen Red trying to respond with a little bit of side soak here. They've got Thrall in the other lane, but the rest of that top temple is going to be stolen away and deals a decent amount of damage to top, taking out that top turret. Meanwhile, Arcane quick on the rotate. This is scouted out from the Owl there, so they at least know that Sonya's there, but so far so good here for Rush B, but it's still pretty even overall here, Murda.
We are at level 7 for both sides. Waiting on a few of those selections. Jaina and Tyrande still holding on to their picks for a little bit. As we see Sonya starting to work on the bruiser camp up top. She grabs that and now probably going to be looking for something here around mid. All 5 heroes from ReGen Red in this mid lane. Now Thrall finally moving back up towards the top. But there's vision here he's got to worry about first. Sonya walking right past it. So now they got to know that it's a 5v4 they're walking towards here.
Yeah, the Sonya coming down. ReGen Red calling everybody off here. They're going to give up the siege camp positioning for now, but with Thrall up in the top having to respond to that bruiser camp, there's just no way that ReGen Red can look to contest this. And all they're going to be able to do is just wait to clear it out here in the bot lane.
Yeah, they're getting walked around the map right now. These siege camps, these bruiser camps, all over the place. Now 3 camps in a row, stolen away by Rush B. They're going to be pushing this bottom wall. And they got this Lunara. She's doing a ton of damage. Look at what she took at level 4. Nature's Culling just absolutely wrecking down that tower there. So it's going to be a huge advantage. The only thing really helping ReGen is that they still have this well here in the bottom lane. But it might not be long for this world if they make another push in towards it.
Yeah, I gotta say that Nature's Culling really paying off here for Dominator with how many camps they're taking so far. But main point is here, the bottom temple is activating. Level 10, a little bit closer here for Rush B, but definitely in range for both here as we head on into this temple phase.
Neither side at level 10 yet. There's going to be an Impale limiting how those heroes are able to walk in at arrow. Now a few abilities out. We'll see if they want to re-engage it, but there is a siege camp in their face they got to worry about first. And there might not be enough time now. Level 10 almost here for Rush B. ReGen Red's going to start thinking about a play right here, right now.
Yeah, they are going to charge on in. They get a good combo, a lot of damage onto Fatlock, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to turn around and give a little bit of damage back here with the bomb spread onto Zulkin. He's getting a little bit low, but for right now, ReGen Red going to get positioning on here as Rush B looks like they're just going to step back and look to get their level 10s on.
Yeah, level 10's here, clicking in quick, and ReGen Red very close to their own mark. They're disengaging, not wanting this fight until they make it there, and they make it back safely. This is going to mean another full temple charge for Rush B, and structures on Sky Temple. Really the name of the game, Jason. Once they're down, there's no coming back, and those temples will just keep shooting until they're at your core.
Yeah, Kael'thas a little bit out here. We do see the Earthquake coming down. Arcane jumping onto the backside. Pyro onto Shui. Not going to be enough to take him down. Kael'thas dies on the backside, though, as Ana has been cocooned. The ring comes out, hits 2. There's going to be another kill. Third one coming in, maybe here for Arcane. They do manage to get it. And just like that, it's a 0 for 3 exchange in favor of ReGen Red.
And they're setting their eyes on the boss right now. They have Hunter's Mark from Tyrande. They know a few of those heroics had been used on the other side, even if they show up to this fight. So they're going to make the move right now. Is it risky? Here comes the Wisp from Lunara. It's going to be scouted out. Just below 50% is this boss as Lunara is showing up now. Also right behind, we see Ana here as well for supporting. Here's the play on the boss, Jason.
Yeah, Dominator does come in and is able to flip over to the other side, but they're not able to get position onto the boss. Boss going to be captured for ReGen Red, but they're not going to be able to follow this up. This should be a free clear here for Rush B as they've got all the healthy guys back in now. And so low on health and mana there were the members of ReGen Red. I was a little worried there, to be honest with you, Murda.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got to be feeling a little bit better now after how the way the first half of that match was going for them. They weren't winning much. We're losing on the objectives. We're losing in the team fights. Finally, they find a good fight with their level 10s. They get the kills they've been waiting for. It's a triple kill for ReGen Red down there in the bottom lane, and now they're working on their siege camp. Might be the first time they're able to get it all game.
Yeah, they're able to just barely cap this before Rush B gets on the scene. We are going to see Blessed Shield coming out. They're trying to force into the fort. Worth noting that the fort is low. It is being tanked, but ultimately they're going to think the better part of Valor back on off here just for the moment. But camp grabbed, and now we've got temples activating in the top and bottom parts of the map as both teams look to get their bruisers. Well, maybe not.
Bruiser camp being worked. Yeah, Bruiser camp being worked on here by ReGen. Bottom side, it's a siege camp for Rush B. Temple's active in 3 seconds. It's going to be down bottom and all the way up top. Opposite sides of the map, we only see Sonya anywhere near the top right now. It's Lunara hanging out on bottom. ReGen Red walking through vision. The Wisp there in the jungle. So should be scouted here by Lunara. She should have an idea they're coming. Maybe starting her Hearth in the corner of that temple. ReGen Red's just going to start working on the tower. Oh, Dominator going to stay in here. Hop his way out.
Oh, they're coming around the backside. Look out. Tyrande gets blown up here. The ring coming out, not finding anybody. Murder is going to end up falling. And the Cocoon blown up in short order. Shui is looking to try and turn this around, though, with the Earthquake, as Anna, getting very low, is going to be taken out here in response. So just like that, it's a 2-for-1 exchange. It is in favor of Rush B, but with Sonya up in the top lane, it looks like ReGen Red's going to be able to take out that fort and get back on the camp here.
Interesting play there. ReGen Red losing that fight with an extra man there. Sonya was still all the way up top. But still, Rush B, they're fighting with their hearts on the line here tonight. You see them going into all these engagements, not worried. Once again, it's Johanna up front trying to duel with Thrall, but Shui staying healthy. Very low's Dominator, but he's hopping back and forth, getting off those leaping strikes as we see the big Pyroblast coming out. It's going to be healed up by Recycling, a little bit of spell armor, just enough, and he gets the Lunar Flare as well to finish off Johanna. Now pushing in on Kael'thas. Here comes Jaina, should have a Q. There's one, there's two. See ya later. A double kill for ReGen Red. See how they can take advantage of this power play here, Jason.
Yeah, they do have the Sylve. They're a little bit low on mana, especially Arrow on the front line there. So not going to be a whole lot of Beetles to help, but it looks like they are marching onto that front line, and we're going to have Arcane going in after the scouting. Owl comes out on the top side. Nice play there. Risky play from Dominator as he's just kind of leaping around. Zulkin getting very low, though. The poison threatening to take him out, and it looks like ReGen Red going to be forced off of this. They get a little bit of damage on that front wall, but ultimately we're getting back to what is a pretty even game and level, but structure advantage still here for Rush B.
Zulkin going to use his Hearth back to base. Pretty even game now, Jason. We see both of our teams about to reach level 15 right now. It is a 3-kill lead for ReGen Red, but these fights have been so close. They really could go either way at any given time. And looking at the structures, it's actually Rush B in the lead, so you really can't discount either side at this point. It's kills for one team, it's structures for the other, and I think we're pretty even heading into the ending here.
Yeah, next shrines are going to be in the mid and bot lane, so going to be crucial for these teams to carefully plan out how they want to position, where they want to go here. Level 16 going to be here in short order for ReGen Red. They might be able to find themselves a fight up a talent tier, but there's a big wave here in mid going to be picked up for Rush B as the temples are activating here in 20 seconds.
We do see level 1 completed for Kael'thas, Mana Addict. On the other side, Jaina still working on her globes. Fingers of Frost, 3 globes away. Won't have it for this fight, although both sides will have their level 16 talents. We're seeing Rush B just about at that mark right now. They're standing near this bottom temple. Going to try to get the channel off before ReGen Red could ever show up.
Yeah,
nice. This is channeling right onto a keep at this point, Jason.
Yeah, and so that is why ReGen Red is coming down here. They know that since they're behind right now in the structures, they can't afford to trade. So they're going to look to come in on the backside. Kael'thas going to have to dodge out of that bush area. Sleep comes out early. Earthquake on the backside, so there's no escape out of here for Rush B, but Zulkin is the one taking a lot of damage to start. Sonya the first to fall, though. Johanna on the other side as well. Lunara falling, and suddenly ReGen Red able to turn it around, get Zulkin healed up, and 5-0 Rush B. What a fight here for ReGen Red.
Wow, but what are they going to do? Looks like they just want the boss. Their bottom keep's still in trouble. There's a siege camp on that keep right now, Jason. It's not going anywhere. That thing's going to get the keep down. No one from ReGen Red can respond in time at this point, so they're just going to use the temple shots they have remaining down at bottom, also use the boss, and try to make a play. But I can't help to think that this boss is the absolute wrong play right now, because by time it reaches that keep, everyone from Rush B is alive, and all they've gotten is a mid-fort during that 5-kill window there. I just got to feel like they lost a little something there.
Yeah, it is going to give them the ability to march up onto this bottom keep front wall with the boss. They can choose to push with it, but ultimately it's going to come down to another team fight here, another 5v5. Can they win a second one in a row? No Earthquake, no Ring for another 9 seconds. We do see on the backside Arcane going to jump in, get a huge leap stun there. Lunara, though, the first to fall on the other side. Murder able to ice block beautifully there. That Pyro Blast. Meanwhile, the web wrap is going to expire. The boss beaten down the keep right now. Jaina falling on the backside, though, as Fatlock trying to get something done. But Johanna's going to go down. It's a 1 for 3 with the boss marching in here, Murda.
Oh, there was that wailing arrow. They're trying to move in, and it's only Kael'thas and Ana in defense. Boss on this core, ReGen Red trying to close out game number 1. There's the Earthquake from Thrall, and that should be enough to lock in Kael'thas. He's stuck in this Earthquake, has no escape. 30% now on the core. ReGen Red trying to close it out, and looks like they'll be able to do it here on Sky Temple, remaining perfect here on the season.
Well, there you go. Perfect record on Sky Temple, and so far a perfect 1-0 in this series. Let's go to the match summary here, brought to you by the Nexus Gaming Series, of course. Who else but NGS for us? And just give me your initial reactions to these stats. Who's your MVP? What do you think here, Murda?
I mean, honestly, Dominator played out of his mind on that Lunara. Looked so good, but I have to give it to Repsychic. There were so many times in that match where his Calderized resistance from Tyrande was just enough to keep someone alive, whether it was through that Pyroblast or whether it was through some other form of damage coming out that they needed that little bit of armor. Repsychic easily my MVP there in game number 1.
Yeah, Zul'Kan also having some incredible damage numbers, both in the Siege and the damage department. Just barely eking out Dominator there for top damage. 16-5 on the kills, and you mentioned it, the structure advantage a little bit for Rush B, but the kill advantage in for ReGen Red. And I find more and more in HOTS nowadays, it's about the late game team fights. Who can win those team fights to be able to secure themselves the structures and dominate the map. And they didn't really need the other lanes, Murda. They only needed bot lane there with that boss to be able to push in with the Sylph shutdown, and then finally the Siege to be able to take down the core.
Yeah, I mean, you heard me at the end of that cast. I thought maybe a bit of a misplay, but they're able to make it work. And you know, if you're a player on that team, you got to be happy it worked. But I was questioning it there for a moment.
Yeah, very interesting Sylvanas build, by the way. Looking again at Zul'Kan, a very interesting level 1 talent, the Overwhelming Affliction, able to deal a lot of extra percentage damage to the double front line here, but also just taking advantage of that Festering Wound at 7 and the Windrunner at 13. Just such an interesting and unique build there. Worked out pretty well, though, being able to get that extra percentage damage and melt in the late game. It kind of seemed like that level 7 to level 10 window is where that really started to tilt, right as Jaina and Sylvanas kind of both come into their real strong talents at those levels.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, heading into game number 2, we start having to think about how these teams are going to alter their drafts at all. Will there be a big switch up from either team? Anything you're expecting, Jason?
Well, you know, I don't really expect teams to change too much of their main strategy. You know, I mentioned the Sonya and the Lunara, kind of those off-meta picks. Sonya specifically, very map-specific pick, where you usually will only see her on big camping maps like this one, or on shrines specifically for her shrine clear. So I don't expect to see the Sonya again, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But if I'm ReGen Red, I'm not making any adjustments. I feel like their burst comp was very well executed. They played to their strengths. They were having troubles early in the game with some of those camp invasions and having to play from the back foot a little bit. But when they came into their strength in the late game, they really were able to put the foot on the pedal and just drive away with it. So I think that that's what ReGen Red should go to for the rest of this match, and force Rush B to make the adjustments.
So I just got an invite to our match lobby, Jason. Looks like we're going to be heading to Alterac Pass.
All right. So this is another important camp map, but instead of being multiple camps, it's just that one bruiser camp in the mid that is so important. Even the bosses here on Alterac Pass are not very important until maybe the late game when you're looking for a final push. But very unique map. This is, of course, the first season that Alterac Pass has been in the rotation, and gives a lot of team fighting ability right from the early game on that first objective.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity all across the timer of this map that we're going to see a lot of fights. Of course, during those objective phases around those prison camps, teams are bound to be brawling. But I think also when you have two bosses on the map, always potential for something to be going on around there as well. If game one is any indicator, Rush B's planning on playing aggressive early game, planning on invading camps and really disrupting the rotational paths of ReGen Red. So keep an eye out for that here in game number 2. See if Rush B is able to keep that up and maybe lead themselves here to a game 2 victory.
Yeah, and it's worth noting on this map, Alterac Pass, there is a very clear and easy path to get to the opponent's bruiser camp, no problem. And on the right side of the map, it's through that, between that top and middle lane, and then vice versa to go over to the left side. So I'll be interested to see how these teams want to do that. Maybe if ReGen Red does want to make any one adjustment, you mentioned it earlier, they might try and guard these camps a little bit better, send a little bit more support to it to make sure that they're ready to go in terms of making sure they capture those.
Speaking of ready to go, looks like our teams are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to draft number 2, Alterac Pass. It's going to be ReGen Red first to pick here on Alterac.
Yeah, so a little different from last time around. So Rush B electing for the map pick instead of the first pick that they did at the beginning of the series. So there's an adjustment right off the bat for you, Murda.
You talked about Sylvanas, maybe Rush B banning her out. No, it's going to be ReGen Red banning her out.
Yeah, interesting pick there. They, of course, it's a good hero on any map. Again, has the potential to get a lot of value from Merc Queen with those big bruiser camps in the mid, and the good wave clear is really nice. But yeah, it's like you mentioned, they have first pick, so I guess they must be looking for something different is the only thing I can think why they would do that. They want to first pick something else, but they don't want Rush B to have Sylvanas.
And second time tonight, ReGen Red taking away Diablo. This is going to leave open Maiev. I'm wondering if maybe they're just going to take Maiev themselves, because I'm worried if their strategy was making sure Dominator can't get on Maiev, leaving it open in a draft might be a bit of a risk. So I'm fully expecting we see her picked up here with the first hero selection for ReGen.
Meanwhile, we will see the Tyrande banned out, so that's a nice adjustment here from Rush B. So they don't want to see either of those strong heroes, but you mentioned it earlier, they left Zulkin to be able to pick up the Maiev, and that's going to be an insta-lock there. ReGen Red didn't even need a second to think about that one.
Dominator getting on another hero he loves. It's going to be Alterac. I know there's some fans out in chat right now getting pumped up to see this. Ana is going to be the selection for T-Lane. How does ReGen respond to this? I think Alterac completely takes away any chance at selecting Johanna. So instead, Arrow's going to go for ETC. But, is it risky? Is the Mosh Pit enough just as a threat here up against an Alterac? He's a hero that's very good up against it with 2 forms of interrupt. So, I don't know. The Altarac's such a good pick, and Dominator able to pull it out so early in the draft really makes ReGen have to think about how they want to play it.
Yeah, a lot of displacement so far, though, from ReGen Red. Between the slide into face melts, the grenades, the Maiev tethers. Right now I'm seeing the members of Rush B being ping-ponged all over this map, especially in these tight corridors here as they try and fight for these prison camps.
Picks number 3 and 4 now on the clock for Rush B. They still need their tank, and it's kind of deep in the pool. Diablo and Nubrak Johanna already banned. DTC already picked up. They're going to go with Stitches here for Fatlock and Gul'dan for Great Potu. All right, we're starting to get a feel of what they're trying to pull out here. They have, a little bit of a pick comp, but not necessarily enough lockdown after the hook. So I'm expecting something out of Arcane there from the solo lane that can kind of work in with that hook play. But ReGen Red with picks 4 and 5 with a chance to respond here. They're going to go with Imperius and Lucio.
Yeah, so we do see some displacement from the other side as well. Stitches with that hook, and of course Goladan with these huge Horrifies post 10 can just be a big time game changer. But we do see the Imperius coming out, so that's going to be good percentage-based damage to be able to throw not only at Stitches, but at Blaze there with that last pick. And then, of course, Lucio getting people in position a little bit stronger. Good sustained healing with that burst healing also from the sound barrier. But Blaze is going to be coming in. The question is this combustion or is this drop bunker?
I mean, teams have been going combustion. I don't think this is the time for it. Honestly, I think you have the Rip Tire from Junkrat, the Warden's Cage. Bunker's just so good up against both of those. So,
you got to be careful with that bunker, though. If you get extra damage beyond what the bunker can hold off of that Rip Tire, it applies to all the heroes that are in it. So it could be... The counter kind of go both ways there.
We'll see. I've never seen it work like that. I thought it just pops it open. You know, if it blows up after the bunker's destroyed, it would hurt them.
I could be wrong.
Maybe
I could have
I'm
sworn
wrong.
I remembered a WTF video somewhere along the lines, but I'm a very big fan of those, Murda, in case you couldn't tell. But
Jason, I'm stoked to see how this Lucio is going to do against Gul'dan. Of course, the dot damage from Gul'dan and kind of the hot healing from Lucio counteracting. But why don't you go ahead and reintroduce our team on the left here?
On the left, we've got Rush B. We've got Dominator on his patented Alarak. We've got Fatlock going to be playing the Stitches. We've got Great Potu on the Gul'dan. Thailand going to be playing the Ana. And up top, we got Arcane on the Blaze.
And over on the right-hand side in red, they won game number 1. The Captain Recyclic going to be switching over to Lucio. Arrow on the ETC. Murder going to be playing the Junkrat. Zulkin on Maiev. And last but not least, your favorite solo laner if you're from the East. It's Shui, ladies and gentlemen, ReGen Red.
And Recyclic coming out nice and early with the taunt, letting everyone know that that's one of his high-level heroes. And the shout out to Valk's mom. That's a good start to this one.
I think someone shouted out Valk's mom on my cast last week too. Like, his mom's pretty popular, I guess.
There you go. So we do have the early rotation from both teams. Nobody missing a single lick of soak this time around. No cheese coming out, but Fatlock gonna be pulled back a little bit here. The boop as well with the sound barrier. I mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of displacement, but good healing coming in from Ana to be able to keep them nice and healthy. But on the other side, Zulkin and Arrow just getting ripped apart by the Gul'dan damage.
I thought it was a nice little vault of the Wardens by Zulkin, but it ended up being pretty good timing from that hook from Stitches. Fair trade. No deaths yet. We're a minute in here on... what's the name of this map? Alterac Pass.
Whatever this place is.
Both teams starting to look at their siege cams here. It's Gul'dan and Ana on the left. On the right-hand side, it's going to be Maiev and Lucio. But neither side really with a huge advantage yet, Jason. I'm expecting some blood, and I was expecting more aggression early here out of Rush B, but I haven't seen it quite yet.
So I can see why there'd be a little bit of a difference on this map. If you get that camp early enough here in the first phase, after that 1 minute mark on the spawn, the timer's low enough you can actually pick it up again right around the beginning of the first map objective and have a second set of these going through. So both teams making a play for it nice and early, getting it, but a little earlier on the pull here is ReGen Red. They're going to be pushing in with this with their 3-man. Wave clear pretty strong on the other side though with that Gul'dan. Looks like Rush B is not going to have much problem cleaning this up.
Yeah, plenty of damage from those slams from Stitches. Of course, you got the Echo Corruption getting started up now at 7 stacks for Gul'dan. Hook and a miss there by Stitches at mid. Yeah, ReGen Red will make it back safely. Still no first blood. It's Rush B, however, in the lead in terms of XP. Bottom lane, most notably Dominator against Murder. And Dominator, from what I can tell, has been dominating that matchup.
Double pull in here, and the slide to follow up. Great Potu getting so low. Hook gonna pull Recycling back a little bit. So Fatlock able to peel them off just enough. And they're gonna be walking on back to the safety. And the B steps, yeah.
You know, I like seeing some B steps. I think we're gonna start seeing some more active plays now. Maybe that's gonna start a fire under the butts of ReGen Red a bit, and maybe they're gonna be the ones who are aggressive first in this game.
And Dominator a little quicker on the rotation up the top. Actually, I take that back. It's just Junkrat taking the long way around after going back to the base. So Murder now positioned up here. And again, both teams are going to go ahead and instead of going after the enemy camp, they're going to go right in after these mid camps. So prison camps, not such a big deal. Bruiser camps, main priority right now.
I want to say thank you to Mongoose sending 4 Raiders over here. Thank you so much for stopping in tonight, Mongoose. Glad you can make it. As a hook connects onto ETC, Arrow's going to be okay. A little bit of his own armor. Both teams posturing, but up top, it's Imperia still looking for level 7 for ReGen Red. Both sides with their camps now here at mid. And you talked about them being available during this first objective if you get it early. Here they are. And here, Rush B is channeling on this top prison camp. No one from ReGen Red here in response yet. They're waiting for level 7s, but they're going to give up some channel time now.
Yeah, it is captured for Rush B, but look at the response here. Big time combo coming out from Dominator, though. Charge to follow up after that tether in. Zulkin so low, but still on the backside getting those Fan of Knife resets. Dominator, the first to fall. Arcane getting low, so they're able to get Zulkin back out of trouble, and it's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange in favor of ReGen Red.
I'm so amazed every time in this match so far that Recyclic's been able to keep someone alive. I know Zulkin, he was very low there. He moved himself back, but so close to dying he was yet again. And you gotta credit the captain here a bit from ReGen Red for just being in the right spot at the right time, making sure no one's falling.
Now there you go, the healing from Recyclic making the difference to start. Level 7 now in for both squads as the charge is just down to 5 seconds. We do have Rush B back here in force, trying to interrupt it, and we do have the engage coming. Zulkin getting low. Maiev gonna be falling this time, and a huge hook onto Recyclic, but he's able to dash away there. So it's gonna be a 1-for-0 exchange in favor of Rush B, but it's a little too late for those prison camps. We're gonna have the Raiders coming out here for ReGen Red.
Yeah, they were willing to lose a life there to get the objective. That's what you saw happen there with Maiev, just putting it all on the line, making sure that channel wasn't stopped. They're successful in doing that. Now we'll see what kind of success they're able to gather up with this objective push. One of the strongest objectives in the game if left alone. But you see good response in all 3 lanes right now from Rush B. Mid just getting absolutely manhandled. Down bottom, Dominator going to be working on this one as Shui showing up in response. A little bit of a change up here where we saw the Junkrat earlier. Now it's going to be Imperious. Here comes ReGen Red down bottom with the gank attempt though, Jason.
Yeah, they're coming in hard on the Dominator, and he's trying to back out the back way there, using the full scope of that fort area to try and escape. Shui does get hit by the silence, but is able to make it out. So the front wall is going to fall, but a nice response from Rush B. Able to get down here in time to support Dominator, get him out of there, and both teams going to make it away without giving up any deaths. Front walls go down in every lane, and ReGen Red with just a tiny bit of XP difference here, but ultimately good defense overall, I think, for Rush B.
Jason, I'm noticing what's going on here. It's ETC playing all by himself up top. He did go Echo Pedal at level 7 as well. This is signifying to me stage dive 100%. We're just a moment away to find out, but I mean, Arrow's basically told me the answer. He's going stage dive here.
Yeah, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, stage dive. No,
oh, it's Mosh Pit.
Got him.
Okay.
What a twist,
Right.
Murda.
I mean, he's hanging out up top by himself. Hey, how dare I assume?
Right. Well, and welcome to the biggest map in Heroes of the Storm, by the way. So, pretty good map for it. But no, yeah, you're right. A little bit of a surprise, but there it is.
Level 10s here for both sides. We do see Counter-Strike now to boost. We have that Combustion. We talked about maybe Bunker, but it will be Combustion here. Horrify and Bile. Should we looking for a Spear? Didn't get it. The other side, we have the Barrier, of course, Riptire, Mosh Pit, Angelic Armaments, and the Warden's Cage. Prison's active in 15 seconds, Jason. ReGen Red won the first one. What's going to change here?
Well, for starters, they've got very good positioning here. Nice slide in by Arrow, and he's going to cut off the team there with that mosh, but it gets interrupted. Big Riptire coming on the backside. We are going to see 2 kills there, being credited to Junkrat off the heels of that big Riptire. 2-for-0 exchange, and what a time to get it here for ReGen Red.
Yeah, Arrow taking a ton of damage on that front line. He's still not done with Prog Rock at level 1. Only 13 globes so far. That extra bit of supporting will come in handy later on, but they don't have the globes quite yet. Now you see ETC rotating towards mid, trying to find a couple more globes so we can get the quest stacks done before anything further happens in this match. I don't expect ReGen Red to be able to hold this the full channel length because Rush B, they're here already. Yeah,
it's generally pretty difficult to get the entire channel in one go, especially if you only get a couple kills, and at this point in the game when the death timers are so low. But the timers go up for these camps as well as the game scales, so usually it matches pretty well with those death timers. But they get more than half of it. So at this point, ReGen Red just needs another good team fight scenario. They can push up and get it. But it is an opportunity here for Rush B to be able to come back and get themselves the second set of camps.
Yeah, you saw Alarak on the minimap checking the bottom boss, finding no one there. I guess they figured out where ReGen Red was at. They're grabbing that siege camp of theirs as they're moving now back onto the prison. Arrow up front with that ETC, still on the camps, Gul'dan and Ana. They're going to be showing up in a minute, but Arrow's already harassing this backline. Here's going to be an Umbral Bind, but it doesn't pull anyone back quite yet. Recycling Flow uses that barrier as the combustion coming out. Inside the Warden's Cage is Arcane, and Arrow's all by himself. He's going to be killed. 1-for-1 so far as Blaze falls. Zolkin moving back in on Maiev, but now he's silenced and killed. It's a 2-for-1 for Rush B, and that might be enough to start turning this around, but Recycling sneaky channel there. Not interrupted in time. ReGen Red could be able to get this off for just a minute longer. Ooh. Grenade's not able to reach Alarak, though.
Yeah, they get a couple more seconds, and now it's going to be Rush B marching on the other side. We do have just a couple of seconds until everyone is up on ReGen Red, but at 40 seconds until they're able to get that. But a massive hook onto Murder, and there's just no way to get back across. And what a blind hook from Fatlock. Hello.
Yeah, that's about as blind as a blind hook can be. Just checking if anyone's hanging out there, and found the Jack Money of all pots. Junkrat down, and that's a staggered death. A big deal because this channel is active. 24 seconds left. 5 until Junkrat gets back. But I don't know, even with the Ripper Air, if it's going to be enough time for Junkrat to show up and be any sort of meaningful impact in this fight. ReGen Red moving in, though. Here's the Mosh Pit.
Oh, big Mosh Pit. Big damage coming out onto the Gul'dan. Gets displaced. And the boop back off of the combustion. Going to keep them off of all but Zolkin there. And now we have them back. They are able to cap 1.4 seconds away for Rush B. But now with 2 members down, it's going to be ReGen Red marching to the other side, looking to pick up this camp once and for all to win the objective.
Zolkin very low. He's in a lot of trouble. Stitch is going to chase this down. Oh, but Fatlock now might be in trouble. 700 health is a lot. They finally are able to take him down. That's going to be a staggered death just as Gul'dan's respawning. Alderac 3 seconds away. ReGen Red back on the prison. And looks like they're getting their second objective of the game, Jason.
Yeah, very ambitious counter engagement there by Rush B. We've kind of seen it all match. They've been very aggressive in these first 2 games, but that time not paying off in their favor as Rush B is going to have a second set of Raiders coming out, and they're getting started on this bottom 4 here to prep for it.
Oh, looking for that counter-strike is Alarak, but now Dominator stuck in the Warden's Cage. Damages here from ReGen Red. There's the Riptire getting 1. Arcane could be 2. And yes, there it goes. Double kill for ReGen Red just as the objective is about to be at their backside. They're going to be pushing onto a keep wall now with a big minion wave, with the big cavalry. And it's only 12 minutes and 15 seconds into this one, Jason.
And 2 are down right now for the side of Rush B as these try to defend. You mentioned it earlier. If it's unanswered these map objectives get so much, and right now they are chipping away at mid and top fort, while the rest of the members of ReGen Red are securing themselves what they hope will be the first keep of the game here.
They're making the full effort at it as the cavalry's still alive, pulling back in stitches, but that Bile's out. Very low Fatlock, but looks like he's gonna get away. ReGen Red now in big trouble as the hook connects onto Imperius. They're gonna lose him. They're not gonna get the keep. There's the Horrify. ETC might be the next to fall. Recycling gonna stand close, but that silence and that stun from the jet propulsion should be enough. Yep, there he goes. That is one dead pile of beef.
Yeah, they are not able to get the bottom keep, but meanwhile in mid and top, we've got big waves pushing in. The forts are secured. The front walls are going to take heavy damage. Meanwhile, Rush B is just making a beeline here for this bottom boss as the Raiders get cleared out by the towers on each side. But I don't know if that's worth. These bosses, not the strongest in the game, and they are taking a heavy damage onto these keeps.
And there goes my Evan Junkrat as well. They're like, hey, whatever, get the boss. We're going to push onto your keep right now. No one here in response yet. Still no channels back. And now there's 3 heroes here at mid. Lucio joining up. They're going to get a significant portion of damage onto this keep.
Yeah,
here come those hearts.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and hearts back. They're not going to push with this boss. And meanwhile, in comes Shui to make it 4. They get a ton of damage out onto it and are going to have to back out. The hook not quite finding its mark. And just like that, ReGen Red almost feels like stealing here as they get some extra damage to soften these up.
That was a tremendous amount of stealing. No Abathur in this game, so that's permanent damage. Look at mid, look at bot. They're both below 50% health. The boss, yeah, it's here in bottom lane, but it's stuck behind a fort. You got Imperius nearby. He's not even worried about it as there's a fight breaking out up top with Maiev and ETC looking for Alarak, not able to get him. But they're just going to leave that boss to die to the fort and make their way back up to another objective. It's going to be prisons on the top side this time, Jason.
Yeah, boss will eventually get cleaned up in the bot lane. It's not going to get a whole lot of value onto that keep front wall. But we do see the prison camps are up. 50 seconds is all that's needed. Just a quick 50-second channel. No big deal here, Murda, to be able to get this next set of Raiders. Look at the hook onto Shui. Combo from Dominator not quite finding the mark. He quickly was able to get out of there. Camp going to be picked up for ReGen Red. But the cap is secured just at the last second here for Rush B.
Yeah, Murder gonna try to uncap it. There goes Recyclic actually on Lucio. Gonna uncap it, and here comes the fight. Inside this Warden's cage is Stitches, and the Riptire's coming out. 2 blasted open by ReGen Red. It's a double kill. Looking for more is Maiev. There's Dominator trying to say, no, not this time. He has a counter-strike if he can use it. And a mosh pit just interrupted as finally Alarak's gonna fall. A triple kill now for ReGen Red. They're on this channel. And they have a camp still pushing mid. Yeah, and they're looking maybe at a boss top. Options right now for ReGen.
Yeah, that camp in mid made all the more influential by the fact that they were able to get all that extra damage after the fact earlier to be able to soften that mid keep up. That is the only place that these last 2 members from Rush B can possibly be thinking to go here to try to defend. But with Gul'dan, should be able to clean this up. But we'll have to try and tank this. Actually, the wave comes in just in time, but you mentioned it. That top boss is going to be captured. Now, for the side of ReGen Red, it's going to be marching onto that keep that has no front wall. Shui kind of low here. Going to have to maybe try to back out. Fatlock does find the hook, though. And that's going to be a big pick here for Rush B. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, Shui low health, Shui no vision, Shui dead. And that's pretty big for Rush B because now they can interrupt the channel. 5 seconds were remaining for ReGen Red, and now it looks like it could swing the opposite direction pretty easily for Rush B. They're not going to respond to the boss. That's still pushing top catapults as well. So they're basically saying, all right, the keep's dead. There's not much we can do there. Man, I wonder what's going to come of this. Still a fort hanging out mid, fort hanging out top. Even if they win this objective for Rush B, is giving up this keep too big of a deal.
And look at the hook. Fatlock able to hook that out. And now they're able to get around on the other side to try and contest this. But a massive combustion coming in as well. The Riptire looking for backliners. Going to jump over and knock Fatlock back a little bit. Camp was secured there, but up in top, the core is under attack from a massive wave there. And right now, it looks like ReGen Red just trying to keep everybody locked in here. Fat
Oh,
Lock
it's broken.
so low.
Channel broken. 0.6 seconds left. Still a mosh pit is ETC, but he's very low. Tries to get it. Gets two. Double spear as well. Maiev showing up. There's one. But Dominator turning around, destroying ETC. Zulkin now in trouble. Has both of the Wardens. He's going to fall. A 2-for-1 for Rush B. Still neither side with the full channel as Blaze staying in here against Imperius. Another double Discord strike from Dominator. These teams have to reset, but check out mid. Another camp about to be pushing in. That could be the second keep of the game in just a second.
That is definitely going to be the keep going down, especially without a quick response there from Rush B. They're kind of, I think they're not quite sure if they want to try and go in after the defense, and the keep is going to end up going down. It's going to give a window here for ReGen Red to maybe try and find Dominator caught out a little bit. But ultimately, they will go ahead and march back with that keep down. No reason to continue trying to clean that up.
Yeah, I think now they're starting to realize the catapults are going to be stacking. They just have to be patient. But it's only 0.6 seconds. Any channel onto this should be enough. So you might end up seeing all the heroes start to channel it. Yeah, there they go. They're all clicking it. Now Ana, the last one. And that should be an objective handed over here to Rush B.
First set of these... Ram Riders, I forget their official name, but we will see
Cavalry.
The Cavalry, there it is, coming out for the side of Rush B. Their core is going to be just fine as it's going to push out the top lane, but it looks like the focus for Rush B is going to be mid to set up initially, but it looks like they're going to send Alarak to try and push out bot.
Looking at our XP bar, pretty close to 20 right now, ReGen Red, and a couple minion waves, notably this big one here at mid. It might actually be enough for them to reach that mark. So I don't expect any sort of engagement until they're there. But hey, you never know. A good Horrify from Gul'dan could make everything what they're not expecting. But here we go, level 20 is going to be here for ReGen.
Meanwhile, that bottom fort opened up for the side of Rush B. They're going to be looking to go into this keep area. Dominator stepping forward a little bit, maybe trying to pull in some members of Rush B to see if they can find that cheeky hook, find something, but without level 20, they don't want the engagement. They're just going to go ahead and back off and look to see if they can get anything else on the map.
Top the only remaining cavalry. I do believe, based on our timers, that bottom boss should be available right after this cavalry ends. So we'll see if either team recognizes that and is able to move down there and get a jump start. But hey, if I'm Rush B and I know that cavalry's still up top, I'm waiting by that boss right as it's ready to go. But looks like they didn't have the same thought I have here. We'll find out what the play is after this is dead.
Yeah, level 20 now in for Rush B. They could look to force there, but didn't find anything they were looking for in terms of, you know, maybe getting a hook engagement or getting to find a big Horrify. So for right now, both teams going to just back off and look to try and get some camps, get some pressure on the map. And, you know, overall advantage here to ReGen Red. They've got 2 keeps down. They can afford to play the slow game here. They're definitely ahead 5-1 now on structures. And so they don't have to rush this.
I mean, again, I think this boss, it's a big spot on the map. All you have to do is wait and see people responding to catapults in either top or mid. And if I'm ReGen, I'm moving onto that boss and just taking it. You see ETC is checking it right now. But they're not moving towards it. And like, I don't know. I feel like push these lanes up, do what you can there, use the Junkrat Ripper Air to your advantage. Get around this map and push them up, and then work on getting one of these bosses. Now top bosses available as well.
Now, meanwhile, Rush B moving towards that bot lane. They are answering to the push here. Looks like they are going to go ahead and send Gul'dan back to clean up in that top lane. And you mentioned it, the rotation maybe being feigned here by ReGen Red. They're definitely playing with that in that direction towards that boss. They're going to check it, make sure that Rush B's not there. But they see Gul'dan up here. This is an opportunity here for Rush B to respond. And it looks like ReGen Red is going to actually go ahead and start the boss.
They have their tools they want. They have this mosh pit, but it's always the stitches that can be in, the big worry. You see the hook gonna miss there. ReGen Red's gonna go ahead and skirt on back. They don't want anything to do with this boss now. Both teams at level 21. We do have prisons active, a siege camp available now on both sides. And here comes the fight. It's a double mosh pit started up, but there's the Horfire to disengage it quickly. Riptire coming out to follow from Junkrat. It's going to hit a couple. Very low is Gul'dan on the backside. Coming in now is Maiev with that Warden's Cage. Has 3 locked in. The big damage coming out from ReGen Red, but the combustion so good as well. It's a 1-for-1. Make it 2-for-1, actually. 3-for-1 now. ReGen Red moving forward. Gul'dan in trouble. If there's a power slide. Oh, great sleep by Ana. But jumping forward, 3 Psychic on Lucio, and the very tip of that power slide's able to hit Gul'dan. 4 heroes down for Rush B, and ReGen Red gonna march right on down mid.
Yeah, they've got mid and top pushing in here. All they have to do is push in the lanes. That timer's way too far away to get the members of Rush B back to defend. Ana not going to be able to do this solo despite the double sleep hit there. This is going to be game number 2 going over to ReGen Red here on Alterac Pass.
Wow. 2-0 lead now for ReGen. Do they start playing a bit more, kind of no risk, right? Just play straight up HOTS, win one of these last 3 games, or do they start or continue sticking with the game plan that's won them these first 2 games? We got to find that out from them, but we also got to figure out how is Rush B going to turn this set around and pull off a reverse sweep.
Yeah, I feel like Rush B has been in there for the first half of these games, but the team fighting overall has been won more by Rush B in the back half of these matches. They've started to pull away with it a little bit more, and overall Rush B just has not been able to capitalize when they have had those advantages, it seems like, especially later in those games, and that is kind of the big key to winning, and between winning and losing a lot of time is, are you able to create those opportunities, but more importantly, can you capitalize off of them?
All right, folks, we're going to take a short break. I do want to remind you, if you hear from Division C, stay tuned because we will be presenting the Division C All-Stars here during this cast. We'll be back with game number 3 in just a moment.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And of course, I am joined by my favorite co-caster for the whole season, Ysera, right here with me.
Oh. I just got baited so hard. Okay? I was like, wait, I'm your favorite?
You're my favorite human co-caster, Murda. How about that?
Oh,
we'll go with that.
Hey, how about this? I want to say a special thanks to you, this being the last cast of the season, how tremendous of a job you've done all season long as NGS's head caster. So I think, Jason, you're everyone's favorite. You're the head caster.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome to my 50th cast for the season, by the way.
Wow.
We did it, fam. We did it.
Wow. That is freaking impressive, dude. I know personally, I've tried putting my numbers up that high. I always get past like 25 and I start feeling like, oh, this is a lot of hots. 50, that is one hell of a number. Good job, man.
Yeah, I think you're sitting at number 33, so no slouch yourself here. Between us, we've got like, I don't know, 160 out. I don't know. I didn't count it, but quite a lot of casting. But one quick shout out we want to make here before we go on to our game number 3. I'd like to shout out the Patreon. And of course, very, very nice little video we'll present to you here first by Weenus. All right, so don't forget, it's not too late to become an NGS Patreon. I know we're going into the off season, but we still got a lot of really cool rewards that you guys can get in on. Get those last minute player cards. Go take a look over on Heroes Nexus Gaming Series at Patreon and take a look at all the cool stuff they've got.
All right, Jason, looks like we're ready to go. These teams are waiting for us, unfortunately. But hey, we just casted back-to-back thrillers. We're heading into game number 3. ReGen Red up 2-0, and it's going to be Battlefield of Eternity here for game number 3.
Yeah, and it looks like it is going to be first pick for Rush B once again. So the third map pick here, or no, second map pick here for ReGen Red. And Battlefield of Eternity, just a kind of sticking with the theme for the map so far tonight. Big time team fight heavy map.
Definitely big team fight map, and let's talk about the team fights, because you talked about how ReGen Red maybe not playing too good in the early portions of these games, but late game, and especially after level 10 in both of these first two, it was ReGen Red winning the majority of the team fights. So on a team fight map like BOE, yeah, you got to be worried if you rush B, but it's also an early game map. It's Battlefield of Eternity. You win those early immortals, and you get a hell of an advantage in one of these lanes that can help set you up for later on. But we'll see how the scaling works out in game number 3.
Yeah, so right away, Tyrande going to be banned out here. I like that ban. Played very, very well in that game number 1. They remember back to that game number 1, but also very good on this map with that Hunter's Mark, that ability to get extra PvE damage out onto the Immortal. And again, kind of going with the theme from game number 2, ReGen Red going to ban out one of their big factors of why they won the game before, as they ban out Maiev.
Yeah, so much focus on the hero here in all 3 drafts. The ban came in games 1 and now game 3 for ReGen Red, but they were able to grab Maiev in game 2, maybe out from under the noses of Rush B, who weren't expecting her to be picked up. But we see her banned again here, as well as the Tyrande and the Anubrak, which were the bans in game number 2 by Rush B. They're going to stick with those same ones here.
And they're still going to take out the Sylvanas. If they can't have it, nobody can. The first pick here for Rush B, so does leave a couple of the good tanks up here. Johanna and Diablo, if they want to start that off early. Ana still available, which we've seen come out here in both of these matches. So options for Rush B to start.
Options. We've seen them lead off with Alarak and Ana so far tonight. This time it's going to be Artanis. They want the amateur opponent on their side. And he's going to be selected by Arcane here. And I love that pick here on BOE, Jason. It's so strong in the race, and it's pretty darn good off by itself in the solo lane in most of those matchups.
Yeah, a very interesting first pick. You don't see a whole lot of first pick Artanis, but if you're going to see it on any map, this is the one. You mentioned it before. But on the other side, ReGen Red going to get themselves priority picks in the tank and healing department. They get Ana and Johanna.
And this has to be Alarak now for Dominator. You see Johanna coming out. There's such a counter to her, making sure she can't use that Iron Skin. And you know Dominator is such a force. Can't play the Maiev, already banned out. So I'm expecting we see Alarak, and it's got to be here, because if it's not, I'd expect it to be banned away. Diablo picked up for Fatlock. He's been banned out all night, just making it through. And it's actually going to be Hanzo for Great Potu, so they're sticking with the race theme.
Yeah, Diablo just a terror on the front line, and I think that's a good call from Rush B, being able to get their tank here before the second ban phase, and that could be further choked out by ReGen Red. Does leave the healing pool a little bit vulnerable, as they can't apply that healing chokehold, but Hanzo's still the best racer on this map. He's not twice as good as anyone like he used to be, but is still the #1 damage dealer, and could do it from that safe range, which is such a great tool to have here on Battlefield.
Final ban from ReGen Red's going to be Kael'thas. And still about 12 seconds left for Rush B to make their last selection. But you see the Kael'thas taken away. I maybe would have rather have seen a Li Ming taken out. A bit better with that poke, a bit better with the race than Kael'thas can be. Jaina, the final ban here, we saw played in game #1 by Murder. Will not be an option now. Mages are kind of taken away, but we've seen a lot of Orphea out of Murder here in these playoffs. They haven't dropped one map yet, ReGen Red, and they've been winning with that Orphea. So we'll find out if they want to take it here. 10 seconds for them. Picks number 3 and 4.
Yeah, still a lot of options. You mentioned the Li Ming, which I think is really good. I think Orphea is the pick here for ReGen Red, though. They're actually going to instead pivot to the Greymane. They do still have the ability to pick a mage with what they have here, but they're going to get Shui on that Leoric, one of his token heroes.
Last 2 picks for Rush B, Dominator and T-Lane. They still need their support, still need their main damage source for their main damage dealer. Man, what's the option? Maybe you go back to some more burst here? It's Malfurion and Zeratul. Okay, actually, this is a fantastic pick. They already have the Diablo for the APOC. They're now going to get the Void Prison, and they have a lot to add with it. The Dragon's Arrow. Of course, they can walk Malfurion in as well with the Twilight Dream. Could be a pretty scary setup here they're trying to do for Rush B.
Yeah, quite a lot of CC. Good displacement as well with that Artanis swap. And Zeratul's got good burst to follow it up. But you mentioned it. Murder going to go ahead and go with that Orphea as the final pick here for ReGen Red, as they look to close this one out in a clean sweep. Or will it be Rush B starting their path to that reverse sweep on the other side as we go into game number 3?
Let us know down in chat once again, who are you here voting for? Hashtag Rush B or hashtag ReGen. Let us know. I want to see some big cheers. 71 of you out there right now. I think I saw it peak around 75. Tremendous support all night from you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everyone who's a patron of NGS and anyone who's thrown bits and or follow tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of the NGS Grand Finals tonight.
Yeah, whether you're a player, staff member, fellow caster, there's just so many great people here in the NGS community. It's so cool to see so many people showing up here. Again, our final match for the season, so hype all around for this one as we go into game number 3 here. Going to be on Battlefield of Eternity, and Rush B backs against the walls here. This is the moment, Murda, where you leave nothing on the table. There's no reason to hold back your big strats. There's no reason to try to cloak anything you're trying to do. You want to leave it all on the board this time around. All right, well, let's get on in here for game number 3. On the left, we've got Rush B. Thailand going to be playing the Malfurion. We've got Great Potu on the Zeratul. Dominator on the Zeratul. Great Potu going to be on the Hanzo. Fatlock going to be on the Diablo. And we're going to see Arcane playing the Artanis.
10 seconds.
And over on the right-hand side, currently up 2-0, we see Shui up top playing the Leoric. Down bottom, it's Murder on Orphea, Zulkin on Greymane, Arrow playing Johanna, and Ana going to be played by the captain, Repsychic. Ladies and gentlemen, the Division C East champions, ReGen Red.
Right away, we're going to see both teams honoring the standard rotation of 1v4. Neither team going to change it up here early. And Fatlock going to charge in. Not quite able to find the throw there, though. The flip, I should say. So right away, both teams just going to look at the wave clear to start.
So this is the first game that ReGen's allowed Fatlock to get on Diablo, an impact player on an impact hero, and I think really could be the difference maker here in game number 3, especially if Rush B is going to have any chance at winning. They really need to see this Diablo work for them. But, you know, I talked about the VP and APOC. Level 10 comes around, Rush B becomes a completely different composition. So you kind of got to discount what happens here in the early game, because I think level 10, it can swing right back around.
Well, and we mentioned it earlier. I feel like more and more in this game, those big late-game team fights are what really decide the game. Where that first 10 levels, you know, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as anything else. But look out what does matter. Zeratul going to be going down here. Big turn as Rush B trying to get a little bit cheeky there. Zeratul trying to find some damage from the side. He got punished, though.
I can't help but think Dominator forgot he didn't have Wormhole yet.
Aha.
I don't know what that was. He blinked back in and was like, oh, wait, I can't get myself back out. And yeah, there's a Greymane in your face. First kill of the game for ReGen Red, a slight lead. I'll call it about a quarter level lead right now for them, but they're able to get that Khazra camp down bottom. They're going to try to push it into this bottom wall.
Yeah, counter engage coming in. A little bit of damage onto Zulkin, but nothing that Repsychic can't handle there on the Ana. And you mentioned it, those Khazra just throwing the spears. Getting some damage out here onto this front wall. Going to be a little bit of an advantage. They'll take it, but not game-ending. But look out, Zulkin being charged, being flipped, ton of damage, but not quite enough. Even looking for that scouting arrow there is great, Potu. But he's going to make it out just fine.
Yeah, Zulkin keeping the theme alive all night. Getting pretty low, but not falling. And once again, you'll see him alive. Moving up to this Bruiser camp. It's ReGen Red first to action, but just like game number 1, here come Rush B, wanting to play aggressive around these camps. And this could be a great spot. Just Ana and Greymane here by themselves right now.
Look out, the rotation not in from ReGen Red. And Zulkin will be able to roll out. You said it, keeping with that theme, but it is stolen away. Shui coming in from the top. Gonna have to try to Wraith Walk away, but it's actually Zeratul who falls. Big swap, though, onto Shui. Arcane getting kind of low. Might regret going in, but they will be able to walk away. Advantage going over to the side of Rush B with that camp being picked up, but a kill picked up to respond here for ReGen Red.
Yeah, ReGen Red gonna continue with their XP lead now at level 5.5. They're gonna march on down bottom. Get started on this Immortal. They have Greymane for this race. Orphea, you know, decent. Not the best mage in the game for racing, but certainly not the worst either. Halftime, it looks like it's going to favor ReGen Red ever so slightly, about 1,200 HP between the two sides.
And now Arrow going to go ahead and hit the B button. Not that Arrow gives a whole lot of race potential on that Johanna. But now we're really going to see who can win these as they go back and forth here. Both teams shredding through.
No mana. I think that alone. Oh, maybe that stun, though.
Oh!
The stun on the left-hand side is going to give barely enough 321 hit points. Oh, man. Rush B's got to be kicking themselves. 3 heroes got stunned there at the end, giving just barely enough time for ReGen to finish that one.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a big oof. That one hurts. And up in the top lane now, we're going to see ReGen Red here to push Arrow. Now, full mana bar after that back. Turns out that it worked out for ReGen Red, and they're going to be pushing in to this front wall, and already we see the Immortal on the ground and down to half health, so not a whole lot of shields to be able to help support it, but look out, Dominator looking around the backside again here, Murdo.
Yeah, Zeratul's back there. They should see his, like, cloak just moving around in their face as now he's trying to lock down Ana, but not able to get kill his Dominator. He was trying to be sneaky, and I'm surprised ReGen didn't want to put the Johanna in his face. Use that shield glare, maybe use a condemn if you can get close enough. But no kills either side yet, or excuse me, just the 2 for ReGen Red, but none of that fight as this Khazra camp being looked at by Rush B, just grabbing their level 7s. They want to be aggressive once more.
Yeah, we will see them onto the camp, but the response is in from ReGen Red, and Rush B actually going to be the ones to back off of this. They do not want to take the 4v4. Both solo laners are down in the solo lane, so no big advantage for either side. That is going to be a camp here, as meanwhile in the bottom, Arcane has started and looks like he might be able to pick this up uncontested. Shui is going to make it down here in time, though.
He's going to look at it, but over time, Arcanus should win this 1v1. We'll see if Shui can land all of his spooky hands, but they're going to fight there for a moment. We'll see what happens. Oh, actually moving off the points, Arcane tried to do the swapperee. Shui's able to steal it away, so back up top, still pushing in with a different camp. ReGen Red here in the top lane.
Yeah, 2 camps on each side. Good way to spend the off time here, as now we do see the Immortals beginning to spawn, and Bruiser camp still a long time coming for ReGen Red to be able to pick up. We do see Rush B on it, though, and it almost looks like ReGen Red might be posturing to take a page out of Rush B's book.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be looking for it. Here comes Greymane. That's a pretty low Zeratul if they can jump on him. But they just want the camp. Look at this. They're moving right on it. Diablo's going to show up. He's probably going to charge in. Yes, he does. And now a fight breaking loose on this point. Badlock taking a ton of damage. Being slept. A good grenade in there by Ana, making sure he can't get healed back up. It's going to be a double kill for ReGen Red. They steal the camp, and right next door is this Immortal just activated.
Yeah, you could not have drawn that up any better if you were ReGen Red. Perfect planning, great macro rotations, perfect execution. Now they get the ultimate prize in being able to get halftime as the members of Rush B having to clean out that Shaman camp. And now they have all the options in the world. Yeah, level 10 here. It's Christmas right now for ReGen Red.
They're just going to push this down. Likely we'll have a full shielded Immortal heading down the bottom lane in just a moment. They're even going to start this Bruiser camp behind it. This will be able to split push up top. As we know, this Immortal is definitely going down bottom. So 2 lanes to worry about now for Rush B, and ReGen Red setting themselves up for a big-time push here with level 10.
Immortal will be heading to the bot lane. Full shield Immortal. Level 10, still about 3/4 of a level away for Rush B. And this is a rough moment. This is going to be a really tough defense for Rush B as they look to posture. They are going to leave Artanis in the bot lane, but this is a full 5-man push for ReGen Red. Again, Dominator sitting on the backside. Shui just kind of hanging around the back, protecting the backliners, and saying, no thank you, Mr. Zeratul.
We'll see if Leoric can lead anything off with this Entomb. We've seen Shui be that guy all season long with Leoric. Oh man, Valkyrian down before it even matters. Entomb gonna whiff there on Diablo, but doesn't matter. Backside Zeratul's here. He should be scouted by ReGen, but they're still pushing him with this Immortal. It still has a shield. One of those turrets are already down. 8 seconds until Malfurion respawns. And Ardan is still hanging out up top, waiting for level 10 for Rush B.
Yeah, we see the Immortal now setting its sights on the keeps. It's still up in the air. The shield is just now coming down as it's going to hit the ground and start smashing this keep. But on the backside, Batlock getting very low. Shui getting up into his face. And the VP coming out. All 4 members going to hit the APOC to follow. It's a full 5-man stun APOC. However, the Twilight not quite finding the mark there. And it's going to be a 3-for-0 Murda. This could be the end.
This could be it, and Tomb's coming back up for Shui. He can block that gate right now if he wants to. There he goes, blocking at 33%. Can ReGen Red finish off Rush B in just 9 minutes? Yes, they can. ReGen Red have become the Division C Grand Champion.
What just massive amounts of momentum there that ReGen Red rode into that final push. It felt like almost a reminder that they've won game 1, they've won game 2, they've dominated after level 10. They make that aggressive rotation that Rush B's been doing to them all game. They win the camp, and boy, riding that to the finish, 9-0 on the kill counter, and they were just ready to go for this matchup. What a game number 3, what a series, ReGen Red, your Division C Grand Champions.
Talk about these teams coming into tonight being nearly perfect. But look at this game number 3 from ReGen Red. 9 minutes and some odd seconds, but it's a 9-0 shutout. Perfect game in the biggest map of these players' careers. Congratulations, ReGen Red will be the Division C champions of Season 6.
All right, we'll give you guys one last look at these talents before we go on out to get ourselves an interview with our grand champions. But while we set that up, let's go ahead and pull up our Division C All-Stars. No, not the Patreon. We've done that already. We've done the Patreon already. We might do it again. I don't know. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the Division C All-Stars here, provided to us by Arthaniu and the analyst crew. We're going to pop that up on the screen. We've got, for tanks, we've got Pharos and Valkymer as the Team 1, Team 2 tanks here from Plug Walk and Counter Pick Stupid. For the solo lane, we've got Criticalo on Plug Walk and Shui here from the ReGen Red Championship team. Yes, I know, that's supposed to be a G. Don't blame me. DM Arthaniu. See, from C East, the support, we're going to have Dalenor from Calculated Throw and Karguga on Plug Walk. And the cat is joining me as well. She's trying to help out. She's doing her best. Diesel from Plug Walk, going to be our Team 1 for damage. Hoedown from Almost Legends, going to be Team 2. We've got Zulkin, another member here of ReGen Red, going to be Team 1 for damage. Also on the team for damage for Team 2, actually. So we got Diesel and Hoedown, Team 1. Zulkin and Contender from the Found Vikings going to be team number 2. So that is your Division C All-Stars. What do you think, Murda? Any big names you noticed there that you want to point out?
Resan Red, Shui making it big. Shout out to him. Zulkin as well from ReGen Red. Both end up being Division C Grand Champions. So I think pretty good solid picks by our analysts there.
All right, and I'm guessing since you've got all the ReGen connections, you probably got these guys heading somewhere for an interview. Where are we going, Murda?
I mean, you want to just hop right in with them?
You know, why not? Let's jump in the deep end. Does mean we're gonna lose Murda, the fancy glasses, the fancy tie, but don't worry, we'll get him back in just a bit.
All right, I'll pull you in there.
All right, sounds good. Hello, looks like we are joined by our champion, every single one of them. Oh my goodness, look out. Here comes ReGen Red. How you guys feeling after that big win?
Pretty good. Very, very good, I would say. I feel very good. I can't really describe the words that I feel.
Should I be the person that speaks for you today?
Yeah, please do.
Nick said it best in chat. # do it for Rec.
So if you guys at home don't know, Rec, I don't know if you've made an official public announcement, but this was your last set, at least for the time being, playing Heroes of the Storm. How are you feeling at the end of it all?
Hard.
I'm sorry. Am I supposed to speak for you again? You want me to speak
No,
for you?
no, it's fine.
Better, or I will.
It feels really good, to be honest.
He's crying.
Shut up.
Give the man his moment.
It means a lot to me, to be honest. And I know it's like, it's just Dipsy or whatever, but it just means a lot, like going in from the beginning of the season, it was rough at first, but like the amount of work that we put into this is just, it's unreal. And the journey we took along the way is just, I couldn't have asked for a better set of people. And it's just, I can't put it into words, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think what was awesome.
Get that man a bottle of champagne.
No, I need to get those Emmy juices flowing. I'm sorry.
Get the
what
bubbles
was
rolling.
awesome-
This man's going out on top.
Yeah, I think what was awesome
Zoltan,
was
go ahead.
Rex sent a bunch of goals this year, and I think we were able to check one of them off as we went further and further down the series, and even just on our own in scrims and stuff. And I just think it was a really amazing road, like you said, to see a bunch of good guys here.
So tonight you guys let it
And
off.
girl.
Tonight you guys let it off. And girl, sorry. Sky Temple, a map that you guys have had a lot of success on, and you kept your mark perfect on the season on Sky Temple. It looked good, but early game, a bit of a worry. They were aggressive on your camps. Kind of what was going through your minds early? It looked like Rush B maybe came out swinging first.
I think we just split up our resources a lot over the map. You know, sometimes you get caught up in the moment where you're trying to do 8 things at once. And I think after the second camp invade, we realized that we know we need to do one thing. We need to get this camp, and then we can go get the next camp, and then we can go soak the lane. I think we were trying to soak the lane, get the camp, get the advantage at the same time. And I mean, they were a good team in punishing us there. I think it was really good that we acknowledged it vocally, and I think you started to see we changed up our strategy over the course of that game.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of priority. Let's talk about the drafts too, because you guys seem to be targeting a bit of Dominator's hero pool, the Maiev game number 1 and 3. And game 2, I saw it as a caster. I was like, wait, they're not banning Maiev. That seemed to be their game plan. They must want to pick her themselves. And boy, did you ever in game number 2.
Yeah, I think a lot of research went into this matchup for sure. Arrow's been on the ball all season, and it really, really helps. You know, I think I sat there watching a couple of the vids, and I noticed a couple of heroes that they like to play also kind of jive with what we like to play. So I think we kept them guessing and really worked what our hero pool into as best as we can, accommodating that.
So in chat right now, Ragnarok here, a good friend of you guys, and he says, May 21st, 2019, the day Zulkin became more than trash.
I still don't believe that. I think it'll still forever be trash. Don't listen to him. He's lying.
Oh no.
Let's hear from Arrow a bit. Arrow, you played tank all season long for ReGen Red. A lot of growth in yourself. We saw you coming in early in the season, maybe a bit more hesitant, but by the end, you know, in my eyes, one of the strongest tanks here in Division C. What's going to be on your mind during the off season of where you can even further improve and just become an absolute beast here in this division?
You know, it's been, man, yeah. The whole team has grown since day one, and learning my position in this team has been, it's been an ongoing practice, right? And adjusting to teammates as we've had, you know, subs in and what have you. And tanking was not my primary role until I even stepped up to help out Shui in last season. I hadn't even been playing tanks. In fact, it was probably one of the ones that I avoided the most. You know, going forward, we'll see. I don't know. You know, right now I'm just looking at having my Tuesdays and Thursdays off so I can, you know, go catch those cheap Tuesday movies at AMC theaters, you know?
There you go.
And I'll probably look at, you know, casting some of these other events like the charity event and things like that, throwing some time in for those things. That's probably going to be some of my focus, you know, and that gives me an opportunity to see what other teams do. Rush B is one of the teams that I cast a lot here recently, and I think just seeing them play and scouting them out a little bit gave us a little bit of, you know, preparation for what, and even in that first game, you guys talked about it, Zulkin just mentioned it, but we knew they were going to do that. We prepared for that. We were expecting that, and you know, so giving that time to see what other teams are doing and how they grow is going to be helpful as well.
We still haven't heard from our Division C All-Star for the solo lane. Shui, how you doing, Daddy?
Same old, man.
So
My
tonight,
kid's crying, so you know.
Tonight you
That's
had
fine.
to use 3 different heroes, Thrall, Imperius, and then game number 3 on your patented Leo. What is it that allows you guys to be so versatile with so many different heroes? We didn't see too much overlap over your 3 games at all.
I don't know. I just play everything, I guess.
Actually, if I go and look at this, the only hero you guys picked twice is
Leo.
Is it Leo? No, you didn't pick Leo
Oh,
twice.
tonight. I don't know.
You guys didn't pick any 2 heroes twice. So all 3 games you had 15 different heroes. That's pretty impressive for you guys. What is it that allows you guys to be that deep?
It was, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of it. I mean, even when I went away for a week recently, these guys were like, hey, what do you want us to work on? And I think the common trend throughout the whole year has been just like the ability to adapt, the ability to adapt, the ability to adapt. And adaptation is also hero cool. So whether it's in the middle of fights or it's drafting right off on the bat, I think a lot of guys are starting to, I think kind of towards the end, started drafting as a team. I think I said less and less as the drafts, as the year progressed, which is really good to see people just acknowledging where the enemy strength is, where our strength is, and helping counter it. So it's really helpful when people are jiving like that.
Jason, excuse me, do you have any questions? I feel like I've been asking all of them.
Yeah, this isn't really a question for anybody, but I just want to know what the comms are like. You guys are up level 10. You guys have got a full shield immortal. You're going in towards the bottom fort. What do the comms sound like at that moment for you guys?
Oh, let me
at
answer
the point of Shui stop fucking chasing Zelka? Or
family friendly, please.
I get one.
You
said
get
I
one.
get one.
That's your one.
Okay. That's your one.
That was the comms, man. That was what was said.
Okay.
Yeah, it was ignore Zeratul. He's just trying to buy time to get them to 10. Let's get the fort. Let's get the keep. And then when we got the kill, keep pushing. Up, keeps down. We have a full health immortal. We can win. Let's go get it.
Yeah, because I've been in that situation before, and it's, my question for you guys is, what percentage odds did you think you had going into that push to end the game? Like, did you not know it was going to be the end until after the keep went down, or what were you guys looking at there?
That's when the call was made that it was core.
Okay.
When the keep went down and they still had several people dead, Diablo was coming back up.
Yeah, we hit something and we were like, oh, he's dead. We win.
Yeah.
All right.
And the call was made that that was game, and I still told them to just chill because the core still has shields. Let's get the core dead first. Let's not be those guys.
I'm allowed to get excited in one game this okay?
There you go.
So season ends similar to how last season ended. Final game of the season with ReGen on top, but this year it's ReGen Red. You guys are champs. Where does it all go from here for you guys?
Top secret.
I guess it's top secret. I mean, yeah,
We
like
can't
I
afford to
said,
give away our strats like that, Murder. Come on, you know
Yeah,
better.
come on. I've
yeah,
already given
no.
away my one strat, play Leo, miss Entombs, and win, right? So can't give you everything else.
Zoning.
All right,
and
we
tunes,
got
it.
we got a few moments left. Of course, you guys. Shout out time. I don't know who wants to be the speaker. Rec, if you're able to.
Rex got a whole family.
I have a literal
I did.
notebook of people. I
Yeah,
can
I'm gonna
go through
grab some
them.
water and pee, and I'll be back.
Yeah, I could go through all of them real quick.
Can I do my two real quick before?
Yeah, go ahead. No, everyone else can go first. That's fine.
I'd like to shout out my bae Slexia, and the whiskey I've been drinking every match this season to bring us home the wins. That's it.
Canadian whiskey, right?
Wayne Gretzky whiskey, 99, bud.
There
Wow.
we go.
I just got 2 to shout out as well. Just my brother Nick, our cotillion.
Who?
Also, yeah,
Oh.
I know. Who cried after Rex would shout him out last time, so I got you. Not actually, but and then also my mom, the infamous Murder's mom, who watches all of our games, watches the VODs. So, hi, Mom.
Thought I
Okay,
heard
I guess-
weenus for a second there. No, wait, that was just the chicken.
I got the cupcakes in the chat. She's been here all year, and I have to get her a ReGen Red shirt for watching every game and every scrim and every practice. And,
The who?
At the Who, right? And a couple of guys that have been always there. The infamous Triv, probably in the chat too. He's a legend.
Is that all you got, Silken? I guess this season.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to my guild because I know that a bunch of people were watching from my WoW guild tonight, and I appreciate them coming and doing that. Shout out to Rush B. It's been really great casting them, watching them, playing with them tonight. And really all of C West as, put on a good show over this season. You guys, Murda and Jason, and I do want to very specifically point out that you guys can see that Murda and Murder are in fact two different people. They're both in the chat tonight, so they are in fact two different people. And
Totally not me casting and playing Orphea. And look at my Orphea. I'm not good at her.
And one last shout out for my good friend Turd Herder. I just want to say visit the Patreon at patreon.com/Heroes Nexus Gaming Series.
There you go.
Shout out NGS. All right, Rek, you want to bring it home?
All right, sure. I'm gonna go through these real fast. So here we go. A shout out to Tom, Ria, Dan, Tori, Victor, Alex, and all the D&D boys and girls. Nick, I said it this time. Hannah's mom, Carve, Abishore, Antarius, Tyler, Matt and Produce, Holiday, Murda. I think I put you twice. Shit. Negative 40, Cuban Missile, Gristle, McThornbody, all of ReGen Blue, all of ReGen Retro, Ragnarok, Templar, Smalls, Joel, my sister, my brother, my dad, my mom, Woe, Red/Araya, whatever you want to call her, Rush B, all of Div C, Jason, yeah, and the number one above all else, Wilford Brimley, who's been an inspiration to me for this season.
Rip Zensvet?
Oh, Rip Zensvet. Yeah, Zensvet too. Oh no. Yeah, that's everyone. All of you are the best. I wouldn't be here without you, I think.
Oh, I want to shout out Aura.
Oh,
Just-
okay.
She's watching.
Queen B of NGS Aura, if you're out there, everyone appreciates you and all the hard work you do. You don't hear the shout outs for her often, but
Never
if you
heard of
guys at home are playing in NGS, maybe you're just a viewer or what have you, Aura, from my heart and all these people here with me, you've done a tremendous job this season as the speaker of the board, and I don't think NGS would be nearly as successful without her, so huge shout out to her from me as well.
All right. Well, I think we made it through the interview, guys. Well done tonight. Congratulations again. And let's see how this sounds for the first time. We're announcing it out officially. ReGen Red, the Season 6 Division C Grand Champions.
Oh, that feels nice.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, guys. Enjoy it. And we'll see you guys soon.
See you later.
Rock on.
All right. Well, let's bring Murda back. Because, we want to make sure we get to see Murda for the rest of the night. It'll connect eventually. Coming. He's loading. But we'll go ahead and start the shout-outs while we wait for Murda to load in here. I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching tonight. I think peak we saw tonight was 75, so that is amazing. And thank you to the 40 or so people that are still hanging out with us here, having a good time. Oh no, we lost Murda. All hope is lost. Feels bad. There he is. We've got a picture of him sneaking around on us or something. But either way, we'll get that going in just a second here. Maybe? But I also wanted to make sure to shout out before we go the event we've got going on Saturday. We've got a big event coming out. It's our first time trying out this new donation-style charity event, so you guys can come out on Saturday. I'm going to put the figure up here real quick here. This coming Saturday on May the 25th, we've got the NGS Champions Ladder Tournament. It's going to be a ladder-style match. It's going to start at 10 a.m. on Saturday with the Division D and Division E representatives. And we're going to have a representative from each division. The winners will climb the ladder until we get somebody at the top to be able to face off against the Heroic Division Grand Champions.
Oh, I'm here.
There's Murda.
I'm sorry.
We got him back.
I wouldn't connect. I switched the server, so I made it in. Okay, sorry guys.
Welcome back to the party. We're just talking about the Grand Champions Tournament on Saturday for St. Jude. All donations are going to go to St. Jude as a part of their Play Live initiative here for May. They always do a big push And we're looking forward to being able to do something for charity and give back a little bit to the community after we've had so much fun here in Season 6.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. Make sure you're tuned in. I believe it starts 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Right here on twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series. Definitely tune in. You're going to see your champions from tonight participating. ReGen Red's going to be there, as well as a bunch of our champions from NGS. I think it's going to be a great event. And Jason, I'm glad to be helping you put that one on.
Yeah, we've got a few different people that are going to be helping us. We're going to have casters throughout the day. We've had multiple casters sign up, so we're going to have all of those matches casted for you live here on the NGS channel. And again, all of those donations are going to go to St. Jude, so come check it out on Saturday. It's going to be a fun time as we see these champions kind of taking a victory lap, if you will, here after Season 6 and one last big event before we really start to focus on Season 7. But speaking of Season 7, I also want to shout out, we've got a meat haul coming for you guys Sunday night, again on this channel. I believe we're looking at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern.
That sounds correct to me.
All right, so check that out here as well. And of course, we'll have all of the content also uploaded on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our YouTube over at youtube.com/C/Nexus Gaming Series. And we've got all the cool content, all of the highlighted matches. And soon we're going to have those Grand Champion Journey playlists as well. So in case you want to take a trip from the start to the end of the season for any of these Grand Champions for Season 6, it'll have all their casted matches going up, including this one. And then one final shout-out. Two final shout-outs, of course. Murda for joining me tonight. Thank you very much, my friend. And, of course, Sarah for popping in throughout the season. And finishing it out strong here with me. Always the emotional support I need. But Murda, where can people find you? What do you got for shout-outs?
Right here below me, at MurdaRG. You can find that on Twitch, YouTube, or Discord. Reach out if you want to say, hey, if you want to watch some cast, make sure you follow my Twitch page. Jason, what a fantastic event tonight. A lot of fun getting to cast it with you specifically. Always a pleasure, and always one of my favorites to be with.
Well, thank you very much. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. We're actually going to send you on over to Bahamut's channel. He is currently casting a match for Heroes Lounge. We're going to share a little bit with those guys. So we'll send you on over to Bahamut. But thank you again for joining us here tonight for the Division C Grand Finals. Your champions, ReGen Red, here for Season 6. Thank you very much, and have a good night, everyone.